In this video, I will talk about the differences between the genius pitcher, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, and Roki Sasaki, as well as the explosive power of Kazuma Okamoto. First, let's talk about Roki Sasaki of the Los Angeles Dodgers. On June 27, Japan time, Roki Sasaki started an away game against the San Diego Padres. He pitched 4+ innings, allowing 5 walks and 1 hit by pitch. Sasaki lacked stability and was removed from the mound after allowing 3 runs. How should we describe Roki Sasaki's pitching today? Perhaps it is best to say that he was unable to channel his emotions into the ball. It seemed as though he was pitching with hesitation, or that something just did not feel right to him. I could not feel that aura emanating from his body today. Instead, there was an atmosphere suggesting he might give up walks, or make mistakes that would lead to extra base hits. Regarding the cause of this, Roki Sasaki commented as follows after the game. "There were many times when I could not pitch according to the catcher's signs. When I tried to throw a strike, the batter would take a full swing. When I threw a pitch just to see how they would react, the batter would take it for a strike. All of our pre-game strategies backfired completely. The drop in velocity was due to a flaw in my mechanics. I tried to fix my form to the correct one during the game, but it was difficult to replicate it accurately. The low precision of my pitches today was the reason for my unstable performance." Yesterday, I mentioned that for Roki Sasaki to become a world-class pitcher, his challenges are to acquire the pitching precision of Yoshinobu Yamamoto and the destructive power of Shohei Ohtani. However, he was unable to achieve either of those in this outing. He still has unstable aspects when he is not in good form, just like on the mound today. How should he manage the game and contribute to the team? He needs to acquire the technical skills to handle such situations. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who is a genius pitcher, becomes surprisingly stable in his pitching after giving up runs. He is a natural genius who can make adjustments on the mound whenever his pitching becomes erratic. Yoshinobu Yamamoto perceives situations calmly. Even when poor results occur, he never panics. He visualizes his correct pitching mechanics in his mind, and possesses an outstanding ability to replicate them in practice. Although Roki Sasaki may not have that level of ability just yet, I want him to learn from Yoshinobu Yamamoto's positive attitude when facing failure, and his mindset of never giving up the fight. Regarding this outing, Roki Sasaki admitted that there was a flaw in his mechanics, and although he attempted to fix it during the game, and even though he knows what his correct form should be, he lacked the ability to replicate it properly. That is exactly what he is lacking. As a pitcher, it is meaningless if you cannot throw strikes. Furthermore, a walk is equivalent to an error for a pitcher. In that case, it is much better to throw into the strike zone and get hit. If you cannot throw strikes, it means you cannot even compete against the opposing batter. In today's game, he allowed 5 walks and 1 hit by pitch. There were far too many errors. With a performance like this, the team simply cannot fight towards victory. A pitcher is one of the key players who serves as the core of the team. Since he has been entrusted with such an important role, I highly expect Roki Sasaki to grow and evolve further. Since a genius pitcher like Yoshinobu Yamamoto is close by, I hope he always maintains an attitude of seeking advice from him, and continues training to overcome his deficiencies and master what he needs. I believe Roki Sasaki understands why Yoshinobu Yamamoto is so great, as he watches him from up close. Yoshinobu Yamamoto is also human, so there are days when he gets hit hard. However, regardless of whether he is in good shape or bad shape, his determination to manage the game is always visible on the mound. What I felt from Roki Sasaki's performance today was not a fighting spirit to manage the game, but rather that he had become timid in order to avoid making mistakes. since his natural talent as a pitcher is truly world-class. I want Roki Sasaki to throw his pitches with confidence, no matter how poor his condition may be. Having a strong mindset is the absolute basic of basics for a baseball player. When a baseball player loses their fighting spirit, there is no way good results will ever follow. Instead of pitching with the thought of "I must avoid giving up a walk," I expect him to step onto the mound in his next game with the competitive spirit traditionally demanded of a pitcher, as if to say, "Hit it if you can." Roki Sasaki is still a work in progress. Ever since his game against the Angels in Anaheim, he had been delivering highly spectacular performances. So I believe some fatigue is beginning to set in. How should he pitch to contribute to the team when fatigue has accumulated? Now is the time for him to learn. Today's failure will lead to tomorrow's success. Believing in that, I strongly hope Roki Sasaki will continue to train hard. Now, let's move on to Kazuma Okamoto of the Toronto Blue Jays. On June 27, Japan time, Kazuma Okamoto played in the game against the Texas Rangers, recording 2 hits, 2 runs batted in, 1 walk, and 1 home run. In the 8th inning, he hit a 2-run home run, which marked his 19th home run of the season. Fans in Japan and all over the world must have been ecstatic to see him hit a home run for the 2nd consecutive game. During his plate appearance in the 8th inning, Okamoto swung and missed at the first pitch slider, and fouled off the second pitch slider, failing to capitalize on them. Then, he watched a fastball for the 3rd pitch, and finally caught the 4th pitch slider, driving it into the left field stands for a home run. From the perspective of the opposing battery, since Okamoto had struggled against the slider on the first 2 pitches, they probably intended to induce a swinging strikeout by throwing another slider after mixing in a fastball. That is exactly where Okamoto's greatness lies. He is an elite hitter who can completely demolish a pitch when the opponent repeatedly throws the same ball he previously missed or miss-hit. His home run today was a perfect execution of that ability. For the Rangers battery, I think it felt as though they were completely outsmarted by Okamoto. This is the explosive power of Okamoto that Japanese fans know so well. In this game, he struck out swinging in his first and second plate appearances. So some people might have viewed Kazuma Okamoto as being in poor form today. However, he later contributed to the team with a hit and a 2-run home run. I believe this is what professional hitting is all about. The concern regarding Okamoto is his high number of swinging strikeouts. However, just like today, if he hits a home run despite striking out earlier, many fans will completely forget about his strikeouts. With a performance like today's, there is absolutely no need to worry. Even if there are swinging strikeouts, it is not a problem. As long as he can display such powerful, explosive strength to suddenly hit a home run and deliver a performance that contributes to the team, I highly expect Okamoto to continue showcasing this kind of hitting in the future. That is all for today. Thank you very much.